Once upon a time, in a tranquil village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering river, there lived a humble woodcutter named Chen Wei. Every morning, as the sun cast its golden rays over the verdant landscape, Chen Wei would embark on his daily journey into the heart of the forest. His axe, though simple and worn, was his most cherished possession, for it was the tool of his trade and his only means of livelihood. Chen Wei's village was a close-knit community, where everyone knew each other and mutual respect was the norm. The villagers admired Chen Wei for his hard work and honesty. He had a modest home, which he shared with his wife Mei Lin and their two children, Xiao Ming and Xiao Hua. Despite their limited means, the family was happy, finding joy in the simple pleasures of life. Chen Wei's days were filled with the rhythmic sound of his axe striking wood, the chirping of birds and the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze. He took pride in his work, knowing that his efforts provided for his family and contributed to the well-being of his village. The wood he collected was used for cooking, heating homes and building structures, making his role vital to the community. One fateful day, while Chen Wei was diligently chopping wood near the riverbank, his grip slipped and his axe plunged into the deep swirling waters. Desperation gripped his heart as he watched his lifeline sink out of sight. Dejected, Chen Wei sat by the river, lamenting his loss, his thoughts heavy with worry. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the water, the surface of the river began to shimmer with an otherworldly light. From its depths emerged a water fairy, her presence both ethereal and comforting. Sensing Chen Wei's distress, she asked, "Why do you weep, kind woodcutter?" Chen Wei explained his predicament, his voice tinged with despair. "O benevolent fairy, my axe has fallen into the river. It is my only means of earning a livelihood. Without it, I cannot provide for my family." Moved by his honesty and plight, the fairy decided to help him. "Do not worry, honest woodcutter. I shall retrieve your axe for you," she said, diving into the river's depths. Moments later, she resurfaced with a gleaming golden axe. "Is this your axe?" she inquired, her voice gentle. Chen Wei, his eyes wide with surprise, shook his head. "No, that is not mine," he replied. "My axe is but a simple iron one." The fairy smiled, appreciating his integrity, and dived once more. This time, she emerged with a silver axe. "Is this your axe?" she asked again. Chen Wei's response remained unchanged. "No, that is not mine either," he said, his tone unwavering. Finally, the fairy dived a third time and brought up Chen Wei's humble iron axe. "Is this your axe?" she asked. A joyous smile spread across Chen Wei's face. "Yes, that is my axe. Thank you," he exclaimed. The fairy, deeply impressed by Chen Wei's honesty, handed him all three axes, the golden, the silver, and his beloved iron one. "Because of your honesty, you deserve these rewards," she said. Chen Wei returned to his village with gratitude in his heart and axes in hand, his tale of honesty spreading far and wide. His reputation for integrity earned him the respect and admiration of his fellow villagers, and he prospered in his work, living a life of contentment and honor. As the seasons changed, Chen Wei continued to work diligently, using his newfound wealth to improve the lives of his family and community. He built a larger home, ensuring his children had a comfortable place to live and learn. He also donated generously to the village, helping to construct a new school and a community center where villagers could gather and celebrate. Chen Wei's story became a legend, passed down through generations. Parents would tell their children about the honest woodcutter who was rewarded for his integrity. Hoping to instill the same values in them, the village thrived, its people united by the spirit of honesty and mutual respect that Chen Wei had exemplified. Despite his success, Chen Wei remained humble and grounded. He continued to work in the forest, not out of necessity, but because he loved his craft and the peace it brought him. He would often reflect on the day he met the water fairy, grateful for the opportunity to prove his honesty and the positive impact it had on his life. One day, as Chen Wei was working in the forest, a neighboring woodcutter named Jiang Lei approached him. Jiang Lei had heard of Chen Wei's encounter with the water fairy and was envious of his newfound wealth. "Chen Wei, is it true that you received golden and silver axes from the fairy?" he asked, trying to hide the greed in his eyes. Chen Wei, ever humble, nodded. "Yes, it is true, but I did not seek those riches. I was merely honest about my own axe." Jiang Lei, fueled by envy, devised a plan. He decided to throw his own axe into the river, hoping to trick the fairy into giving him golden and silver axes. The next day, Jiang Lei went to the same spot by the river and deliberately let his axe slip from his hands into the water. He then sat by the river, pretending to weep in distress. As expected, the water fairy emerged from the river, sensing Jiang Lei's feigned sorrow. "Why do you weep, woodcutter?" she asked. Jiang Lei, putting on a sad face, replied, "Oh, kind fairy, my axe has fallen into the river, and I cannot retrieve it. It is my only means of livelihood." The fairy, willing to help, dived into the river and returned with a golden axe. "Is this your axe?" she inquired. Jiang Lei's eyes gleamed with greed. "Yes, that is my axe," he lied. The fairy, seeing through Jiang Lei's deceit, was displeased. She did not hand over the golden axe. Instead, she dived back into the river and brought out Jiang Lei's actual axe. "This is your axe," she said sternly. "Because you were dishonest, you shall not receive any reward." Jiang Lei was ashamed and left the riverbank with his own axe, having learned a valuable lesson about honesty. He returned to his village, his heart heavy with regret. He realized that true wealth came from integrity and hard work, not from deceit. Chen Wei continued to live his life with the same principles that had guided him all along. He remained a pillar of his community, always ready to lend a helping hand and share his wisdom. His story served as a reminder to everyone that honesty is a virtue that brings lasting rewards. Years passed and the village prospered. Chen Wei's children grew up to be fine, upstanding individuals, carrying forward their father's legacy of honesty and kindness. The values that Chen Wei had instilled in them shaped their lives and the lives of those around them. As the sun set over the village, casting a warm glow over the hills and the river, Chen Wei would often sit by the water, reflecting on his journey. He knew that the rewards he had received were not just the golden and silver axes, but the respect, love, and unity of his community. And so the tale of the honest woodcutter lived on, inspiring generations to come. It was a story of simple beginnings, profound values, and the enduring power of integrity. As the years rolled by, Chen Wei's integrity continued to be the backbone of his reputation in the village. His dedication to his craft and his unwavering honesty became the stuff of legends. But life was not without its challenges. One summer, the region was struck by a severe drought. The river, once a source of sustenance and prosperity, began to dry up, causing the village crops to wither and the forest to lose its lushness. The villagers grew anxious, fearing for their survival. Chen Wei, despite the hardships, remained hopeful and continued to work hard, believing that honesty and hard work would see them through. One day, as Chen Wei was returning from the forest, with a bundle of wood on his back, he noticed a group of villagers gathered around a large tree stump. Curious, he approached them and saw that they were in deep discussion about finding a solution to the drought. "We need to dig a new well," one villager suggested. "But we don't have enough resources," another added. Chen Wei listened intently, and after a moment of contemplation, he stepped forward. I have some savings from the reward I received from the water fairy. I will contribute to the cost of digging the well, he offered. The villagers were touched by his generosity and agreed to work together to dig the new well. The villagers worked tirelessly, day and night, under the scorching sun. Chen Wei, despite his age, joined them, offering his strength and encouragement. His dedication and leadership inspired the villagers to keep going, even when the work seemed endless. After several weeks of hard labor, the new well was finally complete. The villagers gathered around as the first bucket of water was drawn from the well. Cheers erupted as they realized that their efforts had paid off. The well was deep enough to reach a hidden underground stream, providing them with a steady supply of water. Chen Wei's contribution and leadership had once again proven invaluable to the village. The crops began to flourish, and the forest regained its greenery. The villagers' spirits were lifted, and they expressed their gratitude to Chen Wei. "You have saved us once again, Chen Wei," they said. "Your honesty, generosity, and hard work are an inspiration to us all." As the village thrived once more, Chen Wei's children, Xiao Ming and Xiao Hua, grew up, learning the values their father had always upheld. Xiao Ming, now a young man, decided to follow in his father's footsteps and became a woodcutter. Xiao Hua, inspired by the new school her father had helped build, pursued her education and became a teacher. One day while Xiao Ming was working in the forest, he heard a rustling in the bushes. He cautiously approached and found a small, injured deer. Remembering his father's teachings, he gently picked up the deer and carried it back to the village. With the help of his mother, Mei Lin, and the village healer, they nursed the deer back to health. The deer, grateful for their kindness, stayed near the village, becoming a beloved companion to the villagers. They named it Lucky and believed that its presence brought good fortune. The story of how Xiao Ming saved the deer became another cherished tale in the village, further solidifying the family's legacy of kindness and compassion. As the years went by, the village continued to flourish, thanks to the values instilled by Chen Wei. The new well provided water during dry seasons, the school educated the young, and the community center fostered unity and cooperation among the villagers. Chen Wei, now an elderly man, would often sit by the river with Mei Lin, reflecting on their journey. They would watch the sun set over the hills, casting a warm golden glow over the water. "We have been truly blessed," Chen Wei would say, holding Mei Lin's hand. "Our children have grown up to be kind and honest, just as we hoped." Mei Lin would smile and nod, her heart filled with contentment. "It is because of you, Chen Wei. Your honesty and hard work have brought us all together and made our village a better place." And so the legacy of Chen Wei and his family lived on, inspiring future generations to uphold the values of honesty, integrity, and compassion. The village thrived, united by the spirit of one humble woodcutter, whose honesty had brought prosperity and happiness to all. As Chen Wei's story continued to inspire his village, the seasons turned, and the village experienced both prosperity and challenges. One winter, a severe snowstorm hit the village, covering everything in a thick blanket of snow and ice. The storm caused widespread damage, and many villagers struggled to keep warm and find enough food. Despite the harsh conditions, Chen Wei remained steadfast in his dedication to his community. He rallied the villagers, organizing efforts to clear the snow, repair damaged homes, and ensure that everyone had enough firewood to stay warm. His leadership and perseverance became a beacon of hope for the entire village. One cold morning, as Chen Wei was distributing firewood to the villagers, he noticed an elderly woman, Madame Li, struggling to carry a heavy bundle of wood. Without hesitation, he approached her and offered to help. "Let me carry that for you, Madame Li," he said, taking the bundle from her. "You should rest and stay warm." Madame Li, grateful for Chen Wei's kindness, nodded and smiled. "Thank you, Chen Wei. You have always been so kind and helpful to everyone in the village. We are fortunate to have you." As Chen Wei helped Madame Li to her home, he couldn't help but notice the state of disrepair her house was in. The roof had several leaks, and the walls were poorly insulated. "Madame Li, your home needs repairs. I will come back with some materials and help you fix it," he promised. True to his word, Chen Wei returned later that day with tools and materials. With the help of Xiao Ming and some other villagers, he repaired the roof, sealed the walls, and ensured that Madame Li's home was warm and secure. The gratitude in Madame Li's eyes warmed Chen Wei's heart, and he felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing he had made a difference. As the winter months passed, the village slowly recovered from the snowstorm. The sense of unity and cooperation that Chen Wei had fostered helped everyone through the difficult times. The villagers knew that, no matter the challenge, they could rely on each other and the leadership of Chen Wei. With spring approaching, the village began to prepare for the planting season. Chen Wei, always thinking ahead, decided to share his wealth with the community by purchasing high-quality seeds and tools for the farmers. "These seeds and tools will help us have a bountiful harvest," he said as he distributed them. "Together we can ensure that no one goes hungry." The villagers were deeply moved by Chen Wei's generosity and commitment to their well-being. They worked tirelessly, planting and tending to the crops with renewed hope and determination. As the days grew longer and warmer, the fields began to flourish with healthy, vibrant plants. One evening, as the village gathered at the community center to celebrate the progress of the planting season, Chen Wei stood before them and spoke. "I am humbled by the strength and resilience of our community. Together we have faced many challenges and emerged stronger. Let us continue to support one another and uphold the values of honesty, integrity, and compassion." The villagers cheered and applauded, their hearts filled with gratitude and admiration for Chen Wei. As the celebration continued, the children played games, and the adults shared stories and laughter. The sense of unity and joy was palpable, a testament to the enduring spirit of the village. As the seasons changed once more, the village enjoyed a period of prosperity and growth. The bountiful harvest provided enough food for everyone, and the village thrived. Chen Wei's children, Xiao Ming and Xiao Hua, continued to embody the values their father had instilled in them. Xiao Ming, now an accomplished woodcutter in his own right, often accompanied his father into the forest. Together they would work side by side, sharing stories and wisdom. Chen Wei took great pride in seeing his son grow into a hard-working and honest young man. Xiao Hua, on the other hand, had become a beloved teacher in the village school. She dedicated herself to educating the children, instilling in them the same values of honesty and integrity that her father had taught her. The village children adored her, and many looked up to her as a role model. One day, as Xiao Hua was teaching a lesson about the importance of honesty, a young boy named Qian suddenly raised his hand. "Miss Hua, can you tell us the story of your father and the water fairy again?" he asked eagerly. Xiao Hua smiled and nodded. "Of course, Tian. It's a story that reminds us all of the power of honesty and kindness." She began to recount the tale, and the children listened with rapt attention, their eyes wide with wonder. As Xiao Hua spoke, Chen Wei stood outside the classroom, listening with a smile on his face. He felt a deep sense of pride and contentment, knowing that his legacy was being passed down to the next generation. The values he had lived by continued to shape the lives of those around him, creating a ripple effect of goodness and integrity. As Chen Wei grew older, he spent more time reflecting on his life's journey. He often visited the riverbank where he had first met the water fairy, sitting quietly and watching the water flow. It was a place of peace and contemplation for him, a reminder of the pivotal moment that had changed his life. One sunny afternoon, as Chen Wei sat by the river, the water began to shimmer once again. To his astonishment, the water fairy emerged, her presence as ethereal and comforting as ever. "Chen Wei," she said, her voice gentle, "I see that you have lived a life of honesty and kindness. Your actions have brought great joy and prosperity to your village." Chen Wei bowed his head respectfully. "Thank you, kind fairy. Your gift allowed me to help my family and community. I am grateful for the opportunity to prove my honesty." The fairy smiled. "You have proven yourself time and time again, Chen Wei. Your legacy will continue to inspire generations to come. Remember that the true reward lies not in the material wealth, but in the love, respect, and unity you have fostered." With those words, the fairy disappeared into the water, leaving Chen Wei with a sense of fulfillment and peace. He knew that his life's work had made a lasting impact, and he felt grateful for the journey he had undertaken. As the sun set over the village, casting a warm golden glow over the hills and the river, Chen Wei returned home to his family. They gathered around the table, sharing a meal and recounting the events of the day. Laughter and love filled the room, a testament to the enduring power of honesty and integrity. As the years went by, Chen Wei's legacy continued to flourish in the village. His children, Xiao Ming and Xiao Hua, carried on his values, making positive contributions to their community. Xiao Ming, now a respected woodcutter like his father, was known for his exceptional skills and unwavering honesty. Xiao Hua, a beloved teacher, inspired her students to be kind and truthful. One day, Xiao Ming decided to expand his woodworking skills and venture into carpentry. He believed that creating furniture and other wooden items would not only provide additional income, but also help the villagers have better living conditions. With his father's guidance, Xiao Ming began learning the art of carpentry. Chen Wei took pride in teaching his son the intricacies of carpentry. They spent countless hours together in their workshop, crafting tables, chairs, and cabinets. Chen Wei's patience and expertise, combined with Xiao Ming's enthusiasm and dedication, resulted in beautifully crafted pieces that were both functional and aesthetically pleasing. The villagers soon took notice of Xiao Ming's carpentry skills and began placing orders for custom-made furniture. His reputation spread beyond the village, attracting customers from neighboring communities. Xiao Ming's success brought prosperity to his family and further solidified their standing in the village. Meanwhile, Xiao Hua continued to make a significant impact as a teacher. She introduced new teaching methods and creative activities that engaged her students and fostered a love for learning. Her dedication to education was evident in the progress her students made, and the village school became known for its high standards and positive environment. One day, a traveling scholar named Mr. Zhao visited the village. He had heard about the remarkable school and the dedicated teacher, Xiao Hua. Mr. Zhao was impressed by the students' knowledge and the innovative teaching methods Xiao Hua employed. After observing her classes, he approached her with an offer. "Miss Hua, your teaching methods are truly inspiring. I run a prestigious school in the city and would like to invite you to join our faculty. Your expertise would be invaluable to our students." Xiao Hua was honored by the offer, but felt torn. She loved her village and the children she taught. She sought advice from her father, Chen Wei, who had always been her guiding light. "Father, I have been offered a teaching position in the city. It is a great opportunity, but I am not sure if I should leave the village," she confided. Chen Wei thought for a moment before replying. "Xiao Hua, you have always followed your heart and done what is best for others. If you believe that this opportunity will help you grow and make a greater impact, then you should consider it. Remember, no matter where you go, you will always carry the values of honesty and kindness with you." With her father's blessing, Xiao Hua decided to take the position in the city. The villagers were sad to see her go, but understood that her talents deserved a broader platform. They held a farewell celebration, expressing their gratitude for everything she had done for the community. Xiaohua's journey to the city marked a new chapter in her life. She embraced her new role with enthusiasm, bringing her innovative teaching methods to the prestigious school. Her impact was immediate, and she quickly earned the respect and admiration of her colleagues and students. Back in the village, Xiaoming continued to excel in his carpentry business. He expanded his workshop and hired a few apprentices to help with the growing demand. Chen Wei, though retired from active work, remained a constant source of wisdom and support for his son. One summer, the village faced another challenge, a severe flood that caused widespread damage to homes and farmland. The river, which had once brought prosperity, now threatened their livelihoods. The villagers were overwhelmed by the destruction and uncertain about how to rebuild. Chen Wei, despite his age, stepped up to lead the recovery efforts. He gathered the villagers and encouraged them to work together to restore their homes and fields. "We have faced challenges before, and we have always come out stronger. Let us stand united and rebuild our village," he said with conviction. Xiaoming and his apprentices worked tirelessly to repair the damaged homes, using their carpentry skills to build stronger and more resilient structures. The villagers came together, helping one another with cleaning, rebuilding, and planting new crops. Chen Wei's leadership and the villagers' collective effort brought hope and determination to the community. Word of the village's resilience and unity reached Xiaohua in the city. She decided to visit her home and assist in the recovery efforts. When she arrived, she was moved by the villagers' spirit and determination. She organized educational activities for the children, ensuring that their learning continued despite the challenges. Together, the village slowly but surely recovered from the flood. The homes were rebuilt, the fields replanted, and the community strengthened by the experience. Chen Wei's wisdom and guidance, Xiao Ming's skills, and Xiao Hua's dedication played crucial roles in the village's revival. As the sun set over the village, casting a warm golden glow over the hills and the river, the villagers gathered at the community center to celebrate their resilience and unity. Chen Wei stood before them, his heart filled with pride and gratitude. "We have faced many challenges, but our honesty, integrity, and compassion have always seen us through. Let us continue to uphold these values and support one another." The villagers cheered and applauded, their hearts filled with admiration for Chen Wei and his family. The sense of unity and joy was palpable, a testament to the enduring spirit of the village. And so the legacy of Chen Wei and his family lived on, inspiring future generations to uphold the values of honesty, integrity, and compassion. The village thrived, united by the spirit of one humble woodcutter, whose honesty had brought prosperity and happiness to all. As the village continued to thrive, Chen Wei's presence and wisdom remained a guiding light for everyone. His humble beginnings and the story of his honesty had become an integral part of the village's identity. The values of integrity and compassion were deeply ingrained in the hearts of the villagers, and they passed these lessons down to their children. One day, as Chen Wei was sitting by the river, his thoughts were interrupted by the arrival of a young man named Jin. Jin had recently moved to the village from a distant town and was struggling to find his place in the community. Hearing about Chen Wei's wisdom, Jin sought his advice. "Master Chen Wei, I have heard of your honesty and the respect you command in the village. I am new here and wish to contribute to the community, but I don't know where to start," Jin said, his voice filled with uncertainty. Chen Wei smiled warmly at Jin. "Welcome, Jin. The first step to being a valued member of this community is to embrace the values of honesty, hard work, and compassion. Find something you are passionate about and dedicate yourself to it. The rest will follow. Encouraged by Chen Wei's words, Jin decided to become a blacksmith. With the help of the villagers, he set up a small forge and began learning the craft. He worked diligently, and soon his skills improved. Jin's dedication and honest efforts earned him the trust and respect of the villagers. As Jin's reputation grew, so did his desire to give back to the community. He collaborated with Xiao Ming to create sturdy tools and implements that benefited both farmers and woodcutters. Their combined efforts improved productivity and eased the villagers' daily tasks. One evening, as the village gathered to celebrate the harvest festival, Chen Wei stood by the community center, watching the joyous festivities. He marveled at how the village had grown and prospered. Children played games, families shared delicious meals, and laughter echoed through the air. It was a sight that filled Chen Wei's heart with immense pride. During the festival, Jin approached Chen Wei with a special gift. "Master Chen Wei, you have been an inspiration to me and many others. I wanted to create something to show my gratitude." He handed Chen Wei a beautifully crafted wooden plaque engraved with the words, "Honesty, Integrity, Compassion." Chen Wei accepted the gift with tears of joy in his eyes. "Thank you, Jin. This means more to me than you can imagine. These values are the foundation of our village, and it is heartening to see them embraced by the next generation." The plaque was placed in the village square as a reminder of the principles that had guided Chen Wei and the community for so long. It became a symbol of unity and a testament to the power of living a life of honesty and integrity. As the years passed, Chen Wei's health began to decline. He had lived a long and fulfilling life, but the time had come for him to rest. His family and the villagers rallied around him, offering their love and support. Xiao Ming and Xiao Hua took turns caring for their father, ensuring that he was comfortable and surrounded by the people he loved. One quiet evening, as the sun set over the village, casting a warm golden glow over the hills and the river, Chen Wei peacefully passed away. The entire village mourned the loss of their beloved woodcutter, but they also celebrated his life and the profound impact he had made on their community. A grand memorial was held in Chen Wei's honor. Villagers from near and far gathered to pay their respects and share stories of how Chen Wei's honesty and kindness had touched their lives. The memorial was filled with tears, laughter, and heartfelt tributes. Xiao Ming and Xiao Hua, standing together, felt a deep sense of pride in their father's legacy. They knew that his spirit would live on through the values he had instilled in them and the community. They vowed to continue his work and uphold the principles that had guided him throughout his life. After the memorial, the villagers decided to create a lasting tribute to Chen Wei. They built a beautiful garden by the river, filled with vibrant flowers and peaceful benches. At the center of the garden stood a statue of Chen Wei, holding his beloved axe, with the words, "Honesty, Integrity, Compassion," engraved at its base. The garden became a place of reflection and inspiration for the villagers. Families would visit to share stories, children would play, and individuals would find solace in its tranquility. The legacy of Chen Wei lived on, a constant reminder of the power of living a life of honesty and kindness. As the village continued to grow and evolve, new challenges and opportunities arose. But the foundation of Chen Wei's values remained strong, guiding each generation to be better and to strive for a community built on trust and mutual respect. Xiao Ming expanded his carpentry business, training new apprentices and creating innovative designs that gained recognition far and wide. Xiao Hua continued her work as an educator, inspiring young minds and nurturing their potential. One day, many years later, a young child asked Xiao Hua, "Miss Hua, what made your father so special?" Xiao Hua smiled, her heart filled with fond memories of her father. He was special because he lived a life of honesty and compassion. He believed in doing the right thing, even when it was difficult. He taught us that true wealth comes not from material possessions, but from the love and respect we earn from others. The child nodded, understanding the significance of Chen Wei's legacy. And so the story of the honest woodcutter continued to be passed down, a timeless tale that inspired generations to uphold the values of honesty, integrity, and compassion. As the sun set over the village, casting its golden light over the hills and the river, the spirit of Chen Wei lived on in the hearts of those who called the village their home. And the village thrived, united by the enduring power of one man's unwavering honesty and kindness.